Alright, let's get this show on the road. So what we're looking at is the reticle of the Delta Stryker 1:6 by 24 rifle scope. Right now it is on 6 power and aimed at Cindy Mountain. The mountain will not be perfectly clear, it's quite a few miles away, and the scope, like most low power variables, does not have any sort of a side focus adjustment, so it is parallax free at 100-150 yards. So when you look at something really far away, it's going to look a little hazy, although once the lighting conditions are not ideal. We're close to sunset, and for scopes like this, reticle visibility is kind of a big deal, so I was just going to scan around a little bit and look at different things, and I'll show you what it looks like as you transition through magnification. So I'm going to reposition it so we can look at some roofs. The scope is on a tripod, not in a gun. So I'm not pointing guns at anyone. I'm just recording a video through the scope, primarily to show you what the reticle looks like. So let's point at that over there. I always like this roof. It gives me a good idea of CA and things like that. Let's go to slightly... this lens can't handle high F numbers. Alright, here we are. And so that roof is about 100 yards away. We are on 6 power, and I'll just dial the magnification back. Now we are... so 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, and 1. Magnification ring is very smooth. Everything works fine. Illumination is currently not on, so you can get an idea of panning with the scope. Let's see if we can adjust it a little bit to match the camera better. No, not so easy right now. I think this is going to be fine. It is true 1x. It's pretty easy to get behind. The edge effects you see with the camera, they're not there with the naked eye. Like I said, I don't have an infinitely adjustable setup, so sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get the camera lined up. If you flip the illumination on, I'm gonna go brightest first. This is 11, and I mean, it's bright. You can't miss it. It's always there. The reticle itself is nicely prominent, and just milliradian from hash to dot is 1 milliradian. Nice simple reticle with fiber illumination. I'll put the point at something a little darker, and I'll go down illumination. You'll see where we are. 10. Between every 2 illumination settings, there's an off point, so off. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the lowest. It's not super dim, but because it's one small dot, it doesn't seem to affect my night vision all that much, if at all. The reticle, like with many scopes of this type, is wire. It's not glass edged. It's one of the reasons why with reticles like this, oftentimes we don't see trees of any sort, anything like that. And there is a fiber integrated into the vertical stadia, right, that creates this bright point. One of the reasons this bright dot looks as bright as it does is that it is fully embedded in the... If you look at the dot, right, it is fully embedded inside the black background of the edged reticle. It's one of the reasons you see it so well, because everything right around it is dark and the dot really stands out. All in all, this thing is really nice and quick and easy to use, and one of the reasons I've been talking about the scope so much is that honestly I'm shocked that Delta is selling it right now for under $800. I mean, honestly, if I was them, I'd bump up the price considerably, and I think they should. The scope punches way above its weight class. It weighs about 17 ounces. It's a nice Japanese 1:6. With a reasonably well basic but extremely functional reticle and a bright dot, true 1x, good field of view. I don't know what they're thinking. They need to be charging more for this thing. It's a very nice design. I like this one a lot. Everything's smooth, everything works well. The turrets are covered, so I had several people ask me about that. I'm gonna point back to something else, like here. I had several people ask me about this. The turrets are in MOA in the first large shipment they received just because of an oversight. Nobody really twists turrets with this. I think subsequent ones will be milliradian turrets. On the one I have, the turrets are quarter MOA clicks, and the reticle is milliradian, which everybody understands makes no sense. It was just an oversight, but not something I cared about all that much. I'll be honest with you, since the only time I used the turrets with this scope was when I sighted it in on my AR, and honestly left it at that. All right. If you guys have any questions, you know where to find me. Nice, simple, but very functional reticle with a bright dot. This is, it's an example. If you've been listening to me talk about rifle scopes for any length of time, you, I'm sure, have noticed me talk about fundamentals. Rifle scopes have their fundamentals: fundamental optical quality, fundamental mechanical quality. This is a scope that's not very high on different frills and a million features and stuff like that, but it's got the fundamentals worked out very, very nicely. The reticle is functional, optics are good, mechanics are good, it is staying zeroed, illumination is done well. There's a lot to be said about that. No matter how many features a scope has, if the fundamentals are not done right, it doesn't do anything for me. This scope got the fundamentals worked out very, very nicely. Anyhow, thank you for watching, and please ask more questions and I'll be happy to add detail.